Hey everybody, ronarray here, and today I'm going to showcase my Shred Druid build. I think Shred currently is a pretty specific skill that could be mostly used for fast clearing everything. It's amazingly fast, can literally teleport from enemy to enemy, and it can clear tier 100 vaults in like 2 minutes. The damage itself is pretty alright, you can still even do a Uber Lilith with it, or any Uber Botheth, but it's not really a damaging build. It's more of speed farming or speed clear build, and it's pretty much focused on that. Let's go forward and see how we can be really fast. So talking about how the build works, the main and the most important part for it is Shred itself. It has an amazing passive Primal Shred, which pretty much gives you a chance to perform a dash with second and third attacks of the Shred itself. That way you can literally teleport through dungeons, and by targeting enemies that far away from you, you can move really fast from one pack to another pack. Even if you can't clear all of them, it still works pretty good, and it makes sure that you're clearing dungeons at an amazing speed. Talking about the damage of the build, you need to stack different sources for it. Both critical strikes with core skills increase your attack speed works really good, and Stormclaw, which gives critical strikes with Shred chance percent of damage dealt as lightning damage, works pretty good. But the main way right now to stack damage even further is using the Companions. With Companions you can use the aspect of Shepherd, which will give you 15% of damage for each active Companion. It works for all your wolves, for all your poison creepers, and for all your ravens. That way you can stack tremendous amount of damage, and it pretty much helps to scale the Shred further. It also stacks really good with Aspect of the Stampede, which will add one additional companion, so one more wolf, one more poison creeper, and one more raven. It's an amazing way to just get more companions, and that way it stacks pretty well with Shepherd itself, giving you even more damage. You also can use Mad Wolf Glee because it's pretty much a wolf build, since it's completely amazing for making your build faster. With Mad Wolf Glee you will be able to receive more ranks for your werewolf skills and movement speed on your chest. That way you can run even faster, combining it with different kind of movement speed bonuses, just shredding through dungeons. So moving forward, I would say we can also utilize stuff like Edgemaster aspect, mostly because we can just stay at full resource almost all the time due to the Seneschal, which can provide a lot of resource together with the resource, Fortify, Swift and Tempest support. I will go over it a little further in the Seneschal setup timestamp. So talking about the unique items, you pretty much don't need anything in particular. For that build you don't need Tempest Roar or any kind of Uber uniques. The only unique items that you will definitely need is Mad Wolf Glee. That's an amazing chest that will provide you with werewolf form, that will give you movement speed, and pretty much opens a way to utilize passives, which help you to get werewolf bonuses at all times. You can also use Godslayer Crown right here, because Godslayer Crown could be good for single target bonuses, especially against bosses, if you feel like you need more damage. But generally Mad Wolf Glee is enough. If you have Sheko or anything like that, or Starless Sky, you can pretty much use them both, but at the basic version you just need Mad Wolf Glee. You can get Mad Wolf Glee from Varchan or Lord Zero, and it drops pretty often, so you probably should already have a few. So talking about the aspect on the items, I will explain them pretty quickly as well. So as a helmet I'm using the aspect for damage reduction while shapeshifted in the werewolf, which I think is pretty good for survivability. On the gloves I'm using the aspect of retaliation because we should have maximum fortify at all times due our Seneschal construct, which can provide a lot of fortify by itself. At the pants I think Juggernaut aspect is the best way to just stack your armor. That way you can get like 14,000 of armor at all situations just even without fighting anything. At the boots, I think Ghostwalker aspect is the best way, even considering we have only one source of Unstoppable, which is Earthen Bulwark, but it's still pretty nice to run faster when we are using that. On the amulet we are using Shepherd aspect. Since we have a lot of companions, we're receiving 15% additional damage for every companion, and it stacks pretty well since we have like 3 wolves, 4 ravens, and 2 creepers. That's a lot of companions and it will give us a lot of additional damage as well. At the rings, I'm going for aspect of accelerating, because moving faster, it's pretty much connected with attacking faster, because we will teleport with our second and third dash. Next, I'm taking Stormclaw aspect, because it works pretty good still, it can provide a lot of additional damage, and should be pretty important for the build. At the weapon, I'm using aspect of Stampede, because it will provide additional companions, and stacks really well with Shepherd. And the last aspect, I'm choosing the Edgemaster, because I think we are staying at the maximum resource at all times, and 20% damage increase is pretty good in almost all situations. However, if you don't really like the Edgemaster, I think right here you can take something else, for example, like Shred, Search and the Poison enemies. And it could be pretty decent as well. So talking about the stats that we need to roll, the main stat should be critical strike chance, because it's critical strike build, so try to get critical strike chance everywhere where you can, mostly on your totem and on your rings, together with your gloves. On the weapons, you need to roll all stats, together with willpower, together with some additional bonuses such as core skill damage, or critical strike damage, or any other type of additive damage. On the totem, I also recommend spirit cost reduction, because your skill is pretty spirit hungry, and to use aspect of Edgemaster, it will be just good to stay at the maximum. On the amulet, I recommend to go for spirit cost reduction and movement speed itself as well, so you need to stack movement speed everywhere where you can. About 26% at your amulet, about 26% at your boots. You can also get like 15% at Mad Wolf Glee, and you can run pretty fast with all of that, even without dashes from Shred. As additional bonuses, I can recommend damage to close enemies. On the rings, it would be good to roll health if you can, and some kind of damage reduction is definitely recommended on your pants as well. So talking about the abilities, we're not really using the basic attack again, so just disregard that. You can take Storm Strike or Claw or anything else that you like. Moving forward, you will need to put 3 points on the Wild Impulses, and if you will roll it on your amulet, it will work pretty good as well. I'm also taking all points to Shred, and Primal Shred is your main passive, which will pretty much allow you to just teleport from enemy to enemy, and will make the build fun and fast. Moving forward, I'm putting as many as possible points to the Earthen Bulwark, because Bulwark will save your life so many times. It can provide a lot of barrier and will just make sure you are surviving good. I'm also taking Blood Hole, because it's a great way to heal, and it can also provide even more attack speed. I'm also taking Vigilance together with Ancestral Fortitude for survivability. You will need all companions, and Brutal Poison Creeper is a pretty important passive, because you will need 20% critical strike chance for all enemies affected by Poison Creeper. Moving forward with the Raven, I think Ferocious Ravens is a good way to just stack more vulnerability, especially if you already exhausted your bonus from Paragon. As a next passive, you also will need like Toxic Class together with Envenom, both of them are amazing, especially at your amulet. And the key passive that I'm using is Bestial Rampage, just to be faster, to attack faster, and to clear and run faster as well. So talking about the Spirit Boons, it's pretty basic like for many different druid builds. I'm taking Varanus because reduced damage from elites is always good. I'm taking Ski's Talons together with Evian Wrath, both of them are pretty amazing to stack your damage. I think Energize is pretty good way, especially if you're using the aspect of Edgemaster, because that way it will be easier to set maximum spirit. And the last but not the least is Masochistic, that way you will be able to heal yourself, and it works pretty amazing just to stay always on top. So talking about the Paragon, our whole setup is pretty basic. At the start we are getting Territorial because we're always close to enemies when we blink. I'm also taking both Tenacity and Prime for health bonuses. The next board is Ancestral Guidance because we are spending a lot of spirit. I'm taking Ancestral Guidance itself, spirit bonuses around here, and the glyph here is Fang and Claw, mostly to stack some resistances together with core skill damage, and because additional bonus of Fang and Claw is pretty awesome. Moving forward, the next board is Lust for Carnage, because that way we can just get like more spirit when our verbal skills critical strike. The glyph here is Spirit itself because it gives additional bonus and pretty nice amount of critical strike damage in their critical strike build after all. I'm exiting through the top, taking Ferocity, and the next board should be the left one. So here Heightened Malice is the next board, and the glyph here is Werewolf. Werewolf is amazing, it will give you damage reduction together with damage by itself while in Werewolf form, and because of the Mad Full Glee, you're always in Werewolf form. So I'm going up here, taking both Toxic Bane and Overturn to get Heightened Malice as well, because it will help you to clear dungeons much better. And the last board should be exited from here, Inner Beast. You don't really need Inner Beast itself because you don't really need lowering spirit cost further, so you will just go for the last glyph and it's Exploit. Exploit by itself is mostly taken for additional bonus because it will provide a really nice source of vulnerable for 3 seconds after you attack the enemy. I'm also taking both Shapeshifter and Determination just to get at least some passives here. But otherwise, that way will provide you with enough damage to clear dungeons and with a lot of speed, especially closer to the Gauntlet. So talking about your Seneschal construct, that's pretty important. Generally, I recommend to go with Tempest, which is pretty obvious, together with the resource, Fortify and Swift. A lot of people asking me why I prefer Swift over the efficiency support. I think both of them are working good, but honestly with Swift I think it's much easier to set the maximum resource at all times. If you feel like it's working already for you, you can just swap Swift for efficiency support. Flash of Adrenaline is pretty much basic, it's supported by Tactical, Duration and Safeguard, just to get some additional damage reduction and good uptime for Flash of Adrenaline itself. So that was my Shred build. Right now Shred has like a pretty specific position. I would say it could be fast and pretty fun. And it will probably take a really high placement in the Gauntlet later on when it will be released. But right now it's pretty awesome to speed farm and to just zoom through all the content since it's really fast with all the dashes. Hope you enjoyed it too, thank you very much for watching, please subscribe for more ARPG content and see you next time.